Every pot is a treasure from the head meat to the trophus. Every bit is sold out. But why is it that no one drinks pig milk? Pigs are clearly the most beloved livestock in China. Even their bones can be simmered into a rich broth. The amount of pork consumed in China annually sustains the world's largest market. But why is pig milk the only thing that hasn't gone mainstream? Pig milk actually has a higher fat content and more nutrients than cow or goat milk. Yet historical records of people drinking pig milk are incredibly rare, especially in a nation of foodies like ours, where even grasshoppers, scorpions find their way to the table. Why is pig milk nowhere to be found? Hello everyone, this is Kanchai. Today, let's put pig milk in the spotlight. Rewind 10 years to the vast Middle East and high-altitude grasslands, where goats and sheep were first domesticated by Neolithic humans. Shortly after, cattle were domesticated in southern Turkey and the surrounding regions. After enduring a brutal history of lactose intolerance, the survivors turned the minor act of milking into a major tradition, giving rise to the early livestock dairy industry. Humans chose cattle and sheep back then, mainly for their ability to graze on weeds and their resilience in barren environments. For these two-legged beasts living hand-to-mouth, minimizing raising costs was the top priority. Fast forward thousands of years, and modern industry still demands the same from dairy animals. So why haven't we been drinking pig milk all this time? It's not our fault. The biggest obstacle is the pig itself. Take this sow that's just had her 6th litter. She has 8 to 16 teats, which are small and scattered. They only release milk when stimulated by suckling piglets to trigger an instantaneous letdown which lasts only about 10 seconds each time. For a litter of piglets like this, total amount they can obtain from the sow throughout the entire lactation period is only about 300 to 400 milliliters in total, which is roughly equivalent to a can of Coke. So it's virtually impossible to replicate what we do with dairy cows and use milking machines for mechanized production. Now, if you were to try milking them by hand, be warned, a lactating sow is extremely aggressive. When cattle or sheep encounter predators in the wild, flight is usually their best strategy. But pigs are natural-born fighters. Even if you're armed with the truth, they'll still charge right at you. So if you want to squeeze out a single can's worth of pig milk, you'd better have some serious physical resilience. And even if you actually manage to get some, our sow's milk supply for each litter is extremely limited and precisely distributed. If a sow has too many piglets in one litter, sibling rivalry alone can leave some of them malnourished. If you take their share, those piglets could very well just kick the bucket. This is also highlighted in Ostel reports. A piglet must obtain vital immunoglobulins from the sow's milk without timely and sufficient access to colostrum. The mortality rate for piglets is incredibly high. Dairy cows have fewer offspring and substitute milk can be used as an alternative. Why you could theoretically feed piglets cow's milk or formula just to save the pig milk for human consumption. Doing so is both uneconomical and defeats the original purpose of raising pigs. The potential revenue from pig milk compared to the value of a piglet is like choosing a sesame seed over a watermelon. What's more, in the world of piglets, each nipple is assigned to a specific piglet. This is what's known as tit order in ethology, namely the nipple allocation system. In an ideal scenario, piglets will compete fiercely within 24 hours of birth to claim a fixed nipple. Once this order is established, it becomes highly stable and causes the sow's teats to develop a specific sucking pattern memory. While the teats don't exactly recognize a piglet like a fingerprint scanner, any sudden change in the milking method will certainly irritate the sow. Due to these specific traits within industrial milking systems, pigs are nearly impossible to integrate into the assembly line. A dairy cow can be milked continuously for large volumes, with collection occurring 2 to 3 times a day. Cows don't even need their calves present. Simply hearing the milking equipment start triggers the release of oxytocin, allowing them to cooperate with milking. But pigs, they are temperamental and dependent on their piglets plus their teat size. Position and angle vary greatly. Using a milking machine would require 12 to 14 suction cups to be aligned simultaneously at different spots, with collection finished within 20 seconds. If the vacuum pressure or angle is off, it can easily cause teat damage or air leaks. Furthermore, sows don't just nurse on demand. About every hour, the sow will lie down and emit a rhythmic grunting sound. Hearing this, the piglets will swarm toward her. This is a rigid mother-offspring signaling system. Without the squeals or tactile feedback from the piglets, the sow, even when injected with oxytocin, will often exhibit incomplete lactation. Additionally, their habit of lying down poses a problem. Beyond hygiene issues, the way they sprawl out in a heap makes it impossible for milking machines to gain access. Likewise, mare's milk has a history spanning thousands of years in nomadic civilizations, yet it has never been popularized because it's incompatible with modern industrial production. The only advantage it has over pig milk is that while horses are also difficult to handle, they aren't entirely uncooperative. With the help of oxytocin and familiar handlers, manual milking of horses is possible. As for pigs, they'd likely launch a boar rush to defend their piglets' nursing rights. However, setting aside the lost labor danger and hygiene issues, some people have actually managed to taste pig milk. A Dutch farmer once had a similar whim. The difference is he actually put it into action. He organized a team of over 10 people who spent dozens of hours, and after several failed attempts, finally collected a few pounds of milk, which was then made into cheese for tasting. Masters described the cheese as slightly chalky and a bit salty. Compared to a regular cheese, it's saltier and more intense, but with a grainy texture. However, others who have tasted pig milk claim that it has a gamey smell and a watery consistency, not pleasant at all. Opinions on its flavor vary widely across different regions. Taste is subjective after all. The only certainty is that obtaining such a resource is no easy task. Currently, scientists are still in the process of extracting the unique nutrients found in pig milk. If these essences could one day be incorporated into infant formula, it could greatly benefit infants with more fragile health. Thus, beyond providing meat, lard, and bristles, pigs would offer yet another great contribution, one they might not want, but we certainly need.